Welcome to my channel, Viscaria ASMR. Tonight I am going to show you my collection of little notebooks, some of which I have used and some of which I have not. They're not in any particular order. So, let's get started. This is the first notebook. As you can see, it is travel sized, maybe even pocket sized, depending on your pockets. It has a picture of Frida Kahlo on it. She's got flowers in her hair. They look like little rosettes, and very bright blush on her cheeks. And underneath it says Mexico or Mexico. Mexico de mis amores. Mexico de mis amores. Around her it looks like rain or lluvia. And there are more flowers, daisies, roses, all in really bright colors like orange, blue, yellow. There are birds, or pájaros, en los flores. There's a yellow, or amarillo, green, or verde, red, rojo. This notebook has a little rubber band on it to keep it closed, and also a little flap to keep the pages sort of secure and safe. This is a newer notebook. It was a gift, and I have not used it yet. Are blank, no lines, no anything, so it's good for sketches and doodles. My handwriting is messy, and my ability to write straight is not very good, so this might be better for little doodles and things like that. Notebook. My next notebook I actually just purchased, and this one is gonna be a gift. It's a gift for a friend, so it's not for me. But the cover is this nice thick cardboard stock. Pretty sturdy, and it's got a white background, and it's covered in succulents and cacti. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 cacti. And many of them have little faces on either the vase portion or on the cacti itself. And they have these rosy cheeks, and they look very happy. And this just reminds me of a friend of mine who loves plants, loves cacti and succulents. She lives in sort of a deserty area, and this was so sweet and cute. I thought that I would get it for her. It is lined, so she could use it at work or like a diary if she wants to. number 3 is another little one, and you can tell it has been loved. I filled up the whole thing. I used this when I was traveling, so you can see, what am I writing here? Guangzhou to, trying to figure out places I was going and dates. It's a calendar. I wrote a calendar here. Places I wanted to go, what I want to do in Kunming, the Bamboo Temple, Shiling, Yuanyang, Rice Terraces, Lijiang, Old Town Pavilion, Baisha, Luguhu. I went to Luguhu and it was one of the best decisions I ever made. It's a lake out west in Kunming province. No, Yunnan. Kunming is the capital of Yunnan province. And this lake, it was just the most beautiful place I'd ever been. Or one of them. I've said that about a few places, but this is really one of the most amazing and beautiful places I ever went. And I went by myself. I got a bus ticket. It was like a 10-hour bus ride. And I arrived and it was so sunny and beautiful. The lake was gorgeous. I rented a bicycle and cycled around the lake, and I met people. I could talk for a whole video about Luguhu, so we'll move on. But in addition to writing about where I was going, I also kept a journal. So someday I'll read through this again. I bought this little notebook in a town called Taigu, and I bought it. It says, "I need you so much closer." And a lot of journals in China have sort of nonsense English on them. This one is actually good English, which impressed me, but it was also a line from a song that I was sort of obsessed with at the time. So I saw this. It has a mailbox on it, and these dandelion seeds being blown away, and these flowers and acorns, and it has kind of a wistful and homesick feeling. You can see I bought it for 2 kwai, which at that time was about 30 cents, I think. On the back it says, "I seriously can't stop thinking about you." So this little book, I filled it right up. Okay, this was another one that I got in China, although looking at it, this was given to me. I didn't buy this. It's not my style. On the front it says "Aiqing" or love. Love, lie at, and nor sometime. This is what I mean about nonsense English. I don't know what that's about. This was 4 kwai, so 60 cents more or less. And although I don't like the cover of this one, I actually do like the pages. Some of them are kind of interesting. All these stickers inside. At the time, I was single and not feeling very lovely. Although there's a heart here that says "for sale," so I don't know about that. So I'm not surprised I didn't bring this with me on any of my trips, even though it is nice lined paper. So I still just have this. I don't know if I'll ever use it, but it's just a goofy thing that I have from China. Okay. This one, I've actually had this since I was a teenager. maybe since I was 14 or 15. It was given to me in high school, and it was so pretty that I was always afraid to write in it. So the cover has these birds, 1, 2, 3, 4 birds, who are sort of on the head of a woman who is crying. We've got her hair here, and there's this flap that comes across, and it's magnetic so that it stays closed, which is really nice. It's just a gentle magnet, but it makes sure it doesn't open. On the back we have a close-up, and I just really love the colors. It's all very metallic. Her eyes are blue and green and bronze and yellow. The birds are purple and red and gold and orange, and yeah, more of this bronzy color. And I used to suffer from this feeling that if I had a beautiful notebook, I should write something really amazing in it. Like I would save my notebooks as if one day my diaries or journaling would be really inspiring. And obviously my life is just the same as everyone else's. It's mundane. So let's see. Inside it says the soul would have no rainbow if the eyes had no tears. I don't know if I agree with that, but it's fine. This is a self-portrait from 1999 of a woman whose name I cannot read. But the pages are very lightly lined, and it has a bookmark, which I like. So it is this really beautiful notebook that I've kept all this time and never written anything in. Oh, her name is Laurel Birch, a self-taught artist and flower child living in California. In the 1960s, she was selling handmade jewelry on the streets of San Francisco. Today, she continues to rely on her intuition and passion. Interesting. Oh, and it's in multiple languages. So we've got these two. Yeah, no, I'm not sure what language this is. Here's Spanish. This one, I'm not sure. This looks like German to me. Italian, I think. And oh, I don't know. I don't speak a million languages. Okay. This poor beaten up journal, you can see from the side, it's not doing so well. I bought this, I think, at like CVS or Rite Aid or some sort of pharmacy store like that, kind of on a whim, because I like orange. I like this flower pattern, and I liked that on the pages there were flowers and lines. I thought that was just a nice touch. It's from the company Paperworks, and they call this eco-ordinates. So it's eco-friendly covers made from 100% recycled fibers and paper stock from tree-free agricultural residue. So that's nice. So I've been using this one recently. So the first page is me making notes about science. I did not write a lot. Actually, this is me studying for my qualification exams for my PhD. So I was thinking, what do I need to know everything about? So BDNF, for example, is a protein. The structure, the synthesis, the mRNA, the degradation. TrkB, sort of the same things. Phosphorylation sites. And then it broke down into to-do lists. So at this point in my life, I'm not as worried about having a groundbreaking journal because I know that this has notes from class, notes from work, to-do lists, and then also I do use it as a personal journal and diary at times. State taxes. So there are definitely like very personal and insightful things in here, and then very boring things like reminders to do my taxes. I wish it weren't quite so beaten up. I brought it with me on my last trip. My last trip, which was to Puerto Rico, and I went with my sister and my nephew. And so I wrote down his rules for rock, paper, scissors, which were interesting. So he went rock, paper, scissors, lava, which was an instant win sometimes. Captain America's shield, which blocks everything, but I don't think you necessarily win. Bouncy pad, not totally certain what bouncy pad does, but it was a lot of fun to watch. Nightmares is how he said that one, and that I thought was the most terrifying idea he came up with. Instant psychic damage. Boomerang always wins. Fork blows up if opponent chooses rock. And cheese stick, no utility, a failure. So I'm still filling this out, although I have other journals as well, so I'm not exactly loyal to a single journal at a time. Okay, next we have this one. It says off with an arrow and then 80%. So this is another one from China, which is why the cover is nonsense. I like the look of it, and I think in Chinese the way you say like a sale is backwards than how we say it, so I wonder if that's why it's supposed to be like 80% off, but I don't know why you would put that on the cover, so honestly I'm not certain. This one was $3, half $1. And I actually didn't buy this one, my friend did, and he painted in it using Chinese calligraphy. So this is all of his hand-painted work. I love this. He wrote this. This is one of my favorite sayings in Chinese. It's about how although the mountains and the lakes may be different where we are, the sun and the moon are in the same sky. So it's about being distant from your friends and living in the same world together. I just think it's a really beautiful saying. I actually have a very large wall hanging calligraphy of that saying, so it's really wonderful that he did this. I forgot how good his handwriting is. I think he's pretty good. But he just did all this for me and gave it to me, and then that was it. So you can see he didn't fill out the whole thing, but I will treasure this. He was a good friend, and I hope he's doing well. Okay. Here is another China journal. This one I think I purchased because I think I liked the teapots. It says I'm a little teapot. That's probably why I bought it. I thought that was funny. I got rid of the price tag on this one, so impossible to know how much it cost. Yeah, I'm a little teapot. Yeah, this one I think I filled out, so let's see what I was writing. This is not my handwriting. Who wrote this? I wonder. This is my handwriting. This is me studying Chinese. I don't know what I was learning, but I think it was about religion. Hunsha, wedding dress. Chunyan. Yeah, this must have been, most of this is me practicing Chinese and other people practicing with me. Not feasible. Me trying to make travel plans. Oh, and actually writing a journal. Oh, and the rest of it might be journal. Did I fill out the whole thing? No, I was gonna say like I wrote so much. I have lots of plans, wow. I wrote a lot. Maybe someday I'll compile it all. It's funny to read these things. It wasn't that long ago, but we forget so much, and there are all these little stories I wrote down that I have no memory of. Okay, this journal I have shown you before. It is yellow. It has this elephant relief on it. The elephant is white and yellow. In the background there are 2 trees. And this journal is made of paper that was made from elephant poop. So the proceeds from the journal go toward helping elephants. And it's not just the cover, it's actually all the paper in it is this handmade paper. It's gorgeous. 3 colors, white, green, and yellow. It's pretty thick. But yeah, you can see I've used this in videos before. I don't write too much yet. I write some video ideas down in here. I haven't used this too much. It is kind of my ASMR journal, so I should start writing down some ideas. You can send me some and I'll pop them right in here. But this journal was a gift from a friend who knows how much I love elephants. Okay, next is this journal. This one is so pretty, and the funny thing is, I think I didn't like it when I first got it. I think I got this in high school. So this is before I moved to China. It's fabric. As you can see, it's kind of shiny with these white flowers embroidered on. Which is so pretty. And I opened it upside down. Apparently it's just from Old Navy. And it was $7.50 back in forever ago. I think I've written on like 3 pages. Yeah, I'm not gonna show you them because I think they have personal information on them. Oh, okay. You can see these notes. This is these notes are all about work and science and motor neurons and SMA, which is motor neuron disease. So I haven't used this one too much, but it's so pretty that I'd like to. So this one is also quite beaten up, and I believe I got this in grad school. Oh, interesting. I have a bad habit of writing from the back sometimes. What I do is I start the work, what I think the journal is going to be about, in the front. So in this case, it was supposed to be for class, I think, or possibly for lab. Notes about people and things, spinal cords, other stuff. Yeah, so this was definitely like a notebook from, not a lab notebook, but notes for me in the lab. And then in the back, I also wrote personal notes and then a whole bunch of other notes. So, about CRH and serotonin, acetylcholine, norepinephrine, cortisol. And I doodled a lot of sea creatures, which is what I always doodle when I doodle. I don't think I ever draw anything else. It's always sea creatures. I don't know why. It's just what I do. Okay. This poor little notebook got a little bit beaten up when I moved. It's another sort of pocket-sized notebook. It is pink with polka dots all over it. One orange polka dot that has a tiny little black cat hugging it. And the back is just more white polka dots. It's in this plastic cover to protect it. But you can see it has not done a great job because some dirt has gotten in there. This was another China purchase, and I like this notebook because all the pages are different. So it's got grid pages, even more grids, sort of blank pages, lined pages, and it just sort of changes between all these different styles. It's got cute little pictures on it, so I just really liked this one, and unfortunately never used it. There's still time. So, that. And then this is another recent notebook that I received. This was I think it was this year, birthday present. And it is drawings of neurons. So, these are all different neurons, and I can't tell if it's actually Ramonica Hall or if they're just trying to imitate Ramonica Hall, who's a very famous neuroscientist who, well, if you've ever taken a neuroscience class, you know who he is. He actually was trained as an artist and spent all of his time around the turn of the century with the microscope and drawing what he saw. And just through using art and science together like that, he was able to determine a lot about the nervous system. So he's often considered like the father of neuroscience, and his drawings are beautiful. So this is new. I have not used it yet. You can even hear the spine cracking as I open it. This is beautiful. Maybe I haven't even looked at it yet. It's from Cognitive Surplus in Portland, Oregon. And it's grid paper with dots. Did any of you play that game as a child where was it called cheese squares? Where you connected the dots, you were trying to make a square before your partner did. This notebook would be great for that. So, someday I will fill this out. So that is my last notebook. I look forward to filling it with thoughts and to-do lists and always random science notes because that's who I am these days. And I hope you are sleeping